This video is on conic linear systems. Systems of equations just involve two or more equations being graphed on the same set of axes, and the solution to a system of equations is a point of intersection. So for a conic linear system, that means we have a circle and we have a line. So there are three possibilities. On the left, you see that the line and the circle will never intersect. Therefore, there's no solution. In the middle, you see one where it is tangent to, the line is tangent to the circle, meaning there's one point of intersection and therefore one solution. On the right, we have a line that goes straight through the circle, so there are 2 points of intersection and therefore there would be 2 solutions. So if we take a look at a question that's multiple choice, it says the graphs of the equations x squared plus y squared equals 4 and y equals x are drawn on the same set of axes. What is the total number of points of intersection? They don't want to know the actual points, they just want to know how many of them are there. So x squared plus y squared equals 4 is the equation of our circle. So for this question, we're just going to sketch a quick picture. The center of my circle is 0, 0 because there's nothing being added or subtracted to the x or to the y. The radius of my circle is going to be 2 because it's the square root of 4. So I'm going to sketch out a picture. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, we just want to have an idea of how many times is it going to intersect. So here's my circle. Now, y equals x is our line. So for this, you have two options. You can go to your calculator and look at the picture or the table, or you can use the slope and y-intercept. So if I go to my calculator, I can go to y equals, clear out anything I have there, and I'm just going to put in x because my equation is y equals x. If I take a look at my graph, it's a straight line that runs straight through the origin. So it's going to look something like this on my graph. And I have 2 points of intersection. So that's my answer. Let's look at another question. This time, you're being asked to solve algebraically. So I need to solve for the system, which means I need an x comma y as my answer. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my linear equation, x plus y equals 1, and I'm going to solve it for either an x equals or a y equals. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I'm going to get y equals 1 minus x. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute that into my circle. So x squared plus y squared equals 61. I'm going to take this 1 minus x and plug it in for y. So I'm going to get x squared plus, instead of y squared, it's 1 minus x squared equals 61. So for that 1 minus x squared, you need to either double distribute or use the box method. So I'll show that over here on the side, just so we have that. 1 minus x times 1 minus x. So I end up with x squared minus 2x plus 1. So I have x squared plus my answer from my box method, x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 61. On the left side, I can combine like terms. 2x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 61. Now, I want to set it equal to 0 because whenever I see an x squared, I know I have to have it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 61 from both sides and get 2x squared minus 2x minus 60 equals 0. My next step is to factor. If I look, I have a GCF. All 3 of those terms can be divided by 2. So I'm going to factor out a 2. And then I'm left with x squared minus x minus 30 equals 0. I can continue factoring from here, 2 parentheses, x, x, a negative, and a positive. My factors of 30 I'm going to list out on the side to make it a little bit easier. and I'm looking for a pair that will give me -1. My pair is going to be 6 and 5. So now I'm going to tee off. We don't care about that 2 on the outside because 2 can never equal 0. So I get x equals 6 and I get x equals -5. So I have 2 answers for x, which means this system has 2 points of intersection. But if you remember back at the top, I told you that you need an x comma y. So I needed to go back and get a point. I need an x value, a y value for each of my x values. So I'm going to take those 2 x values that I have, x equals 6 and x equals -5, and I'm going to substitute in to find y. I'm going to plug back into one of those original 2 equations. So if I take a look back at my original equations, the top equation is our line, so that one's going to be a little bit easier to plug into. So I'm going to use the x plus y equals 1 equation. So x plus y equals 1, but we already know x is 6. So when I subtract 6 from both sides, I get y equals -5, which means this is really the point x comma y. It's going to be 6 comma -5. So that's 1 point. Now I'm going to repeat the process with that -5, still using the x plus y equals 1. So this time I have -5 plus y equals 1. To solve for y, I'm going to add 5 to both sides, so y equals 6. So my second point of intersection is -5, 6. And there is your answer to the question.